And welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time you're watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I do upload new videos every week. Today's video is going to be a little chit-chatty video. I'm going to try and do these like every other week or at least once a month because I think you guys like them and they're quite useful. Today's video is going to be on self-esteem and self-love. I went over into my Instagram and asked if that's what you guys wanted to see or a Q&A, and you said you wanted to see self-esteem videos. There is some questions on my Instagram as well that I'm going to answer after I kind of go through the general advice of like how to build your self-esteem and self-love. So firstly, like self-esteem, if it's not really clear, is how you feel about yourself, and how confident you are in who you are. So it's not necessarily having the confidence to stand in front of a stage and talk to loads of people. It's just having confidence and believing in yourself that you can go out there and do the things that you want to do, and that you feel like happy about yourself. And it kind of ties in with self-love, which is a little bit self-explanatory, which is basically just loving yourself. I feel like in our society, saying I love myself is really bad. It's seen as like a negative thing, and people like my cousins and my sisters will say to me, "Oh God, you love yourself, don't you?" Yeah, I do. I love myself. What is wrong with that? Like, you can love your parents, your siblings, your nephews and nieces, your family, whatever. You can love the people around you, and what does that mean? It means that you want to see them happy, you want to take care of them, you want to protect them, you want to spend time with them. What is wrong in feeling all of those things for yourself? What is wrong in wanting to make yourself happy? What is wrong in wanting to protect yourself and take care of yourself? What is wrong in wanting to spend time with yourselves? But for some reason it's perceived as negatively. Now I understand that too much self-love, that can be like having your head so far up your ass that you don't see that you have flaws. Everybody has flaws, and it's fine. Yes, acknowledge those flaws, but don't let those flaws define who you are. Like, you have to believe in yourself and you have to love yourself, because if you don't, how can you expect somebody else to? And if you feel like you're not worthy of your own love, then when somebody else does love you, you'll think, nah, they can't because of X, Y, and Z. They can't love me because I don't love myself, because this is wrong with me. So how can they possibly love me? And it's just an endless cycle of like negative feeling, like self-doubt and negative emotions. So that's why it's so important to believe in who you are. Now the first step to kind of achieving that, sorry, my voice sounds so funny today because I've got a bloody cold. The first step to sort of achieving self-love is knowing who you are. Have you ever noticed that when you get to know someone, they become more attractive, you want to spend more time with them, and your love for them grows? Like, if you say it's your first day at uni or at secondary school or whatever, and you walk into a classroom full of people that you don't know, you're not going to say, I love that person, I love that person, I love that person. But 6 months down the line or a year down the line, when you've got to know them and you've built a friendship with them and you enjoy spending time with them and you're happy around them, then it's going to be like, yeah, I love that person. Why? Because you know them. So that's why it's so important to know yourself. When you're from, a minority background living in Britain, so you're that ethnicity and you're British and you're a woman and you're a girl, so you can't do certain things that culturally maybe boys can do, and you've got Islam thrown in there as well. You've got the normal hormones and emotions that come with being a teenager, and you kind of like put everything together. It can be confusing. It can be so bloody confusing that you don't know where you stand. And I like literally, that's how I was like at secondary school. As much as I thought I knew who I was, I really didn't. And I look back now and sometimes I think, God, I wish I hadn't wasted my time doing that. Oh God, I wish I'd done this instead. But that was a path that I had to go through to know who I am now and to be able to feel as confident as I do in myself. So how can you get there, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. To know yourself, you need to know when you are most happiest. The people that make you happiest, the people that make you the most comfortable, and the people that you feel like you don't need to be pretentious about, the people that you don't need to worry about what you're saying in front of, that's who you really are. For me, that was always my family. It was always my cousins. Like, I could say stupid shit and like they probably like rip me apart and laugh at me, but at the end of the day I still felt comfortable and confident enough to do it again and say something stupid again. I felt confident enough to be myself. So that is kind of where my starting point was. And when I went to uni and it was a fresh start, I kind of made sure that I was around people that made me feel the same way that my family made me feel, which is, sort of happy and safe and yeah, they can laugh with me or even at me, but I know that they still love me. If you are around people that are making you feel negative about yourself, that are making you feel like you have to be something else, that are making you feel that you are not good enough, they are not the right people to be around, and they are not going to do anything for your self-esteem. I'm going to move on to that eventually because that's going to be point 2, but it kind of ties in with point 1 of getting to know yourself. So if you want to know who you really are, find out where you are happiest at and just be that. The things that make you the happiest, the things that make you the most comfortable, and the people that make you the most comfortable, surround yourself with them and like do the things that make you happy, and eventually you will become more confident in who you are as a person. Don't be embarrassed if you like certain things, regardless of how obscure or weird they may seem. That's what you like, and there will be other people that like similar things and there might be people that don't like similar things but that still like you and still accept you for the things that you like. I'm not talking about like okay, I feel like I'm confusing myself now, so I may be confusing you. Let me put it in context. So like, I love reading. I don't get to do it as much now, but when I was younger, I loved reading. Literally, like I preferred reading over watching TV. I would finish a book in like 2 days and literally spend all my time. But when I was around certain people, I never mentioned that I read. Like, it was something that I was embarrassed about. I felt like it was really geeky and that they'd laugh at me and blah blah blah. But I had to, okay, like when I was like 10 or 11 and like everybody at school was watching Dragon Ball Z, and I had to pretend like I watched it and I had to pretend like I enjoyed it. I bloody hated it. I hate Dragon Ball Z. Didn't really enjoy Pokemon either, and you know, I had to pretend I liked it and collecting cards because that's what everybody was doing. But that was me trying to please other people and not doing what made me happy. If I'd been honest, just because my friends are watching Dragon Ball Z doesn't mean that I have to watch it. Fine, I might not be able to join in that conversation, but there will be other conversations that I can have with them. And I think that's the main thing. Like, you don't have to change who you are to suit the people around you. And when you realise that, when you realise you should do what you want, you should be happy with what you want to do and how you are, and that you need people around you that respect that, that is like the first step of getting to know yourself. And it'll just, that's like the first stone to build on, the foundations to build on for your self-esteem. Now, moving on from that and tying into that, the second most important thing is not having negative people around you. My dad's always said to me, if you hang around bullshit for too long, you'll start smelling like it. And that is, he does say it, doesn't he? That is the main thing. If you are with people who are negative, who do not support you, who do not support your growth, who don't want to see you succeed and who don't want to see you be happy, then you're not going to be happy and you're going to lack confidence. And it happens. I have had people around me that have slyly made negative comments, and it's only now when I look back, when I've kind of stepped away from those people, that I realised actually they were really bad for my self-esteem. They were constantly bringing me down. And when you have a friendship with someone, or when you love someone and they love you, and they're constantly making negative comments, you don't always notice it, and you think it's coming from a good place, and it might be, but constantly being belittled for one reason or another is not good. And you kind of need to step away from those people. Like, I have this theory, and I think everybody should implement it, but that's just my opinion. I have this theory: if somebody makes me feel crap about myself, or if somebody makes me feel like, if after being with them and spending time with them I feel stressed, I don't need those people in my life, and I will cut them out. And it's taken me a long time to be able to do that. Like, I went to an all-girls school, so I've always been surrounded by women, and you get bitchiness and you learn to deal with it, but you also like have a big crowd and you want to be around loads of, well, I've always wanted to be around loads of people. That's just the type of person I am. Like, when I was younger, I always used to stay at my grand's house. Like, I used to hate coming home because all my cousins would be there and I'd have a laugh and I'd enjoy myself. So I find it difficult to be on my own and spend time on my own. But when you are on your own, that's when you get to reflect on who it is that is helping you grow and who it is that's actually bringing you down. And now that I look back, there were people that like would make shitty little comments. Like, before I wore my hijab, I used to curl my hair a lot. I used to love it, and I had one friend who'd always like make shitty little remarks about my hair, like, oh, this curl here, there's something wrong with this curl, and your fringe looks silly and this looks silly. And like, I always thought she was like trying to help me look better, but now I look back and I just think she was constantly putting me down, and that made me feel bad about myself to the point where I was like, why am I bothering like doing my hair? Like, I know it seems so small and superficial, but it's small things like that that build up, that keep you down, that keep your self-esteem and your self-confidence low. And when you have people in your life like that, that's all they're gonna do. The best thing to do is just cut them out. And I know it sounds harsh. Maybe give them a chance, maybe explain how they're making you feel. And if it doesn't change, then cut them out. You don't need that. People like that, toxic people, negative people, affect your self-esteem and your ability to love yourself and be confident in yourself. If somebody's going to do that to you, you don't need them. And as much as you think, no, we've been friends for this long and I really care and she really cares and blah blah blah, it's only when you take a step back and you cut them out that you realise, wow, I feel so much better. It's like a weight off my shoulders. I feel better about myself. Point number 3. So this is like the final point that I'm going to make before I go on to answering your Instagram questions. Point number 3 is don't compare. Don't compare and to anybody, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's movie stars. I tell you one thing, my self-confidence when I started watching music videos just grew. Like, this is like before when I didn't wear my hijab, so I'm talking like 5-6 years ago, when I would like watch MTV and you'd like see someone like Beyonce and you're just like, oh my god, she's gorgeous. And then like you don't mean to, but it happens. You want to style your hair a certain way, you want to do your makeup a certain way, you want to be able to pull off a certain outfit, you want to have that confidence that you see them like just ooze. But that's not real life, and it can be so hard to like know that these people have issues as well, and they have lives off screen, and they're not as confident as you may think. They might not have as much self-love as you think, and just because you try and replicate them or be more like them, it's not going to make you be more confident. The only way you're going to be more confident is if you are confident in yourself and you know yourself. So stop trying to compare, stop trying to be like other people. The other thing is, when you try and copy someone, so say someone's working hard, blah 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 blah, and this is their potential, and you copy them and you want to be like them, you will stop at their potential. You won't push yourself. So your potential might be here, but you will only ever achieve this, because instead of pushing yourself, instead of growing yourself, you are comparing and you are copying and you are trying to be like the other person. So you won't ever fulfill your potential and you won't ever grow as much as you are capable of growing. So it's so important to like block out everything else and just focus on yourself and focus on where you want to be and where you want to get to, without letting anybody else's input damage what it is that you want to achieve. Like, my sisters call me an asshole. Well, one of them does, Maria calls me an asshole. She says, you ask for my opinion and then you still do what you want to do. And I think we live in a society where we feel like we need other people's approval to do something. But you'd actually be happier if you made a choice and you followed that choice through, instead of saying, okay, I've got option A, B and C, what do you think? You will ask a few people, some say A, some say B, some say C. You go with one option and then you're thinking, actually, my mum said A, my sister said C, but I'm doing B because my dad said B. Is this the right thing to do? And that's when the doubt comes in. That's when like you stop believing in yourself, because you think, well, maybe if I'd done this, things would have been like this. Don't think about that. Just go with whatever feels right and just follow it through. Don't have regrets. Don't think about what could have happened. Do what you believe will make you happy and stick to it. And like, make sure that you value your opinion more than anybody else's, because if you value your own opinion, it will help grow your self-esteem. And when you love yourself and when you are confident in yourself, then you will know that your opinion is the only one that should matter to you. Like, yeah, there's people around you that you don't want to hurt and you don't want to offend, and in some cases you have to take their opinion into consideration. But for the most of it, when you wake up in the morning and you get dressed, do not get dressed for anybody else. Choose what you want to wear because you feel confident and you feel happy in it. Don't worry about, she's going to say, actually, those trousers don't go with that top, or she's going to say, those colours don't suit you. Don't think about what anybody else says. It's about you. Don't think, I saw her wearing that, so she's going to be able to, so she pulled it off, I'll be able to put it off. Just think what you feel comfortable, and if you feel comfortable in it, doesn't matter if anybody else thinks you can't pull it off. Just go ahead and do it. I guess point 3 was kind of like, don't compare and don't listen to other people's opinions as well. It's kind of rolled into one. But yeah, so I guess it's point 3 and 4, which is don't compare and value your opinion the most. So to sum all of that up, in order to grow your self-esteem and to love yourself, you need to know who you are. You need to get rid of toxic and negative people around you. You need to stop comparing, because that's going to help you believe in yourself. And you need to value your opinion the most. This video could have been really short. I could have just sat there and made those 4 points, but I elaborated, and I really, really hope it helped. I'm going to go and answer some Instagram questions now. How do you personally take criticism and hate, and how do you continue to be confident afterwards? I think this is a big one, because especially being online and being on social media, I get negative comments all the time, and literally just be like, delete and ignore. And like 10 years ago when I was at school, I probably would have stayed up at night thinking, who was that wrote that comment? Now I honestly don't give a shit. Like, I can count my friends, my real friends, on one hand, and that might, at first, that was like quite depressing, because I've gone from like having a large group of people and socializing a lot to only having a few people that I can trust. But I know that when I'm with those people, I feel happy and confident. And if any of those friends said to me, you are like this, or you are doing this, that would hurt, because I love them and I know they love me. I'm 100% myself and 100% honest and open with them. But when somebody I don't know, or somebody who only knows me a little bit, makes a comment, I'm like, yeah, whatever, over my head. Like, I'm not going to let it get to me. You don't know me. How can you say I'm like this, or how can you put me down when you don't know me fully? You know, you don't know who I am or what I'm really like. So why am I going to let your negative opinion affect me? What you say does not define me. Like, if you call me ugly or you call me a bitch, just because you don't want to swear, but just because you fucking say it doesn't make it true. It does not make it true. If someone said to me, oh my god, you're so tall, would I suddenly become tall? No, I wouldn't. I'd still be 5'2" or whatever I am. So why, if someone is going to call you ugly, or someone is going to say you've got a big nose, or you've got, I don't know, something stupid, like, why are you going to let that affect you? That's their opinion. Just because it's their opinion, it doesn't make it true. And I honestly believe that 100%. The only people whose opinions I would let affect me is my friends or my family. And I know that they would never say anything to me in a bitchy way. Like, if they said to me, if they had a criticism, it would be for a reason. And it would be, so they're telling me so that I can improve myself. That's the type of people you need around you, that who when they criticize you, they do it for your growth and not to put you down and not to make you feel shit. How do you feel without makeup? Believe it or not, I don't wear makeup during the week. When I'm at work and I'm with clients, I do not wear makeup, literally none. I could much rather have 20 minutes extra in bed than wear makeup. So, and I think that's something that's happened over time as well. When you have that confidence in yourself, you can go out and look like, well, like when I'm in town, like when I need to run errands, I don't wear makeup. And like some people find it weird. They're like, oh, like, how do you feel okay without it? Like, I know people who don't wear a lot of makeup, but they wear it. The makeup that they do, they wear every single day. Whereas I will like plaster my face at the weekend, but don't wear anything during the week. And I feel like it's a confidence thing, because I feel like I can go out. That's who I am. That's how God made me. Like, that's how I look. Why should I feel like that's not good enough to go out with and show other people? That's my face. Like, if I can't accept my face, how do I expect other people to accept my face? And when I do wear makeup, it's because I'm like doing it and it makes me feel better, and that's why I wear it at the weekend. But like, I don't rely on it. I don't feel like anybody should have to rely on it. This has like been such a long video. It's probably gonna be like 20 minutes after I've edited it. Okay, hopefully it won't be that long, and hopefully if you made it to the end, thank you for watching. I'm gonna try and do more like chit-chatty videos like this. I don't know what to call them. I need like a collective name for these type of videos. So if you have any ideas, put them down below. Any other like talky videos you want to see, let me know, and make sure you give this a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and share it if you found it helpful so that other people might find it helpful. And I will see you all next time. I need to like really stop talking with my hands. I don't know why I'm doing that. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.
Chit chat with Sebinaah, irritating.
You're so mean. Why are you just like taking the piss out of me?